Hello again, welcome to another build order tutorial, this time for all you Terrans out there struggling against Zerg, or just looking for a new build and you are a macro master, just like INnovation, who's going to be showing us this very quick 3cc build that I hope you all will find some enjoyment in using, or some success at the very least. This is a nice little video. This is from the Home Story Cup replays. It might look familiar to people who watch my YouTube on the day-to-day, because this is also the same replay and video that I used for Cyril's side of things. But here we watch INnovation do a very good macro build. Start off with that 14 depot. $16 barracks and 16 gas. Fill up your gas, 3 out of 3. Grab your Reaper and an Orbital. Send the SCV to the natural. And get a 20 command center. Second supply depot at the front. Orbital should be done. Call down that mule. Continue making SCVs. Get a Marine after that Reaper pops. And a factory. Reactor, once you have the gas for it. Reaper should be scouting at this point. If you did not see a hatchery, you're in trouble. If you didn't see creep spread, there's links in your base. Grab a 25 third command center. Very quick. Get an orbital at the natural. Swap your factory and barracks. And start up a starport. Now grab a second gas, rather. At your natural, your main doesn't really matter. Start up your Hellion production until you have 6 Hellions. If you lose any Hellions, try and just have 6 in general. Get a tech lab on the barracks. You can start building Marines from your barracks. Grab a Viking once the starport is done. An Orbital on your 3rd CC. Get a supply depot. Since you grab a 3rd CC so quickly, it's kind of a late one. So just a reminder, but from here on out, try not to get supply blocked. Continue Marine production, start stim. Add a reactor onto the starport. Now that you got 6 Hellions, swap that factory off the reactor. And hopefully your Hellions are alive. So go ahead and grab your 3rd, put it on location. And get a tech lab on the factory as it lands as well. Get 2 barracks. and 2 engineering bays. Get your 3rd, then 4th gas. Swap the starport off the reactor. And grab another reactor with that starport. You should be able to get 1-1 when the engineering bays are done. That rhymed, hey. Second barrack should have been on the open reactor. 3rd barrack, swap onto the other open reactor, and then get 2 more barracks. Produce from your barracks and your starport. Start up the medevac production. Your factory is being left alone for now. Grab combat shields. And around now, go ahead and get an armory. Usually about halfway of 1-1. It's a good time to grab that. You should have a decent number of Marines to fill those 2 medevacs. Grab a 2nd factory and then lift them up and send out a double drop around 620, even if it's not completely full. Get a 5th gas geyser. And get 2 reactors. A reactor on each new barracks that just finished. Look for something to do with your drop. If it doesn't do anything, don't force it. Grab your 6th gas and just focus on macroing. And now, you can start up your tank production. Get a 4th command center around 7 minutes. Add the tech lab to the 2nd factory, now done. Continue trying to clear up creep. Grab 2-2 on your bio and either +1 attack or in INnoVation's case, +1 defense armor for mech, depending on what you want to do. And then just macro from here. The build order discussion. The strengths. Super macro. All right, if you want a macro build, this is it. This is the macro. You don't really get a faster 3rd CC than this. I honestly can't even say getting one after a barracks is at all good. But Marine King did used to do that, so I guess there's always that. But this is seriously the most macro you're gonna get. You still get a 630-ish drop. That's kind of that's almost like the real greed behind it. Is that you still have a decently timed drop. As we saw, we built that tech lab on the factory, but then we didn't actually use it for so long. In a worst case scenario, being attacked, or you're just feeling a little uneasy with doing this greedy of a build, then getting that tank earlier can be something you can do, but then it's going to push off the drop. So I would say almost that's like the really greedy part. Not even the 3rd CC being super fast, but that's also greedy. And speaking of which, it can adapt to early game defense. But even if you are able to scout the roach all lane or whatever coming as quickly as possible, even if you get a tank out, like, it can still be very difficult to hold. You want tanks, you want bunkers, and at the end of the day, I'm going to be real, if it's a real good Bling Baneling Roach Ravager attack, you might just be dead. That's one of the weaknesses of doing a super fast 3rd CC, guys. It's a good next build for those doing macro builds. So if you're doing the same old Rax Expand 1-on-1 Banshees, Hellions like I do all the time, this could be something to mix it up. Just try and keep in mind that your goal is more so to hit that 630 drop because you want to keep the pressure on at some point. Your Hellions aren't going to do a good job of that. So I would say focus on that. And then, of course, in general, focus on your macro. That's the point of this build, is to be hitting all these benchmarks to the closest possible second, like INnovation would do. The weaknesses. No easy early game defense, kind of went over that already. The Hellions will help, a tank will help, in combination with a couple bunkers, with some good scouting, like perhaps you can make magic work. Where you're not going to have, like, for instance, an easy Banshee, which can always help, unless they're doing a Queen all-in, but that's pretty rare nowadays. It's just, you got to be able to scout. And worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, you don't scout at all and you die because you only have 6 Hellions. That's, them's the breaks. Depends quite a bit on early game scouting, Hellion control. So the Hellions are, at this point in StarCraft 2, not at all about killing creep tumors. Even with creep tumors being unable to be canceled, it's not gonna happen, guys. So what you really want to do is just keep tabs on what's coming to get your Hellions. Were there 20 lings or were there 40 lings? There's 40 lings, be careful, like, continue building Hellions, bunker up, get supply depots to wall off, they're gonna try to attack you. If it's 20 lings, they're just trying to keep you away. If there's roaches, pretty obvious, you're gonna be attacked, do something about it. And if you lose your Hellions, you are going to be susceptible to so many things. Ling floods, not scouting for the roaches, even small ling floods, even just like, hey, I have 20 lings, I should use these. You're going to actually struggle against that. And you're also not going to be able to take that third CC very fast, which almost kind of makes the whole build bad. If you can't take the third also relatively quickly, because you're going to saturate super quickly, and then you're just going to find yourself oversaturated with a 400 mineral brick in your main base, and, well, it doesn't go so well. So if you're the type to lose your Hellions, even when you don't do anything with them, they'll struggle with this. Subpar macro will ruin the point of this build, so kind of alongside the losing the Hellions, like getting your third CC, it'll snowballs, and suddenly you're not looking nearly as cool as INnoVation. Well, not many of us can look as cool as him anyways, but while you might not be able to hit every single benchmark, every single timing exactly like INnoVation does, get as close as possible to it, the worse you are, the more like you're like, oh, I forgot a supply depot. Oh, I forgot my gas. Oh, I got this. You're going to think this build is absolutely terrible because it's going to be late drops, late SCV saturation, late, like, everything. And you'll be like, why would I ever do this build? But, given the opportunity, given 6 solid minutes of not having to defend against anything, which happens quite commonly in ZVT, this is the build to learn all that macro. But if you slip up, it really hurts. And also, the Zerg can do whatever they want. You have Hellions to try and do something. In a Viking, that doesn't, not gonna do very much. So, there's that downside, which kind of also goes with the whole, if your macro's not good, but they're still doing whatever they want to do, and they're doing the macro better, there's no imbalance, quote unquote. There's no, oh, I have 40 tanks, so I still have a chance here. Like, no, Bio's gonna die quickly, you're gonna be overrun by creep spread, it's gonna suck. So, just fair warning, this build can be a tough one to learn, but I do still advise it for those looking to continue pushing their macro to the nth degree. So some tips and tricks. I feel like that last section made this build sound terrible. It's not, guys, but there's a reason that we don't see it too often. Here we go. Use Hellions only to scout outside of creep. Seriously, if you see an opportunity, there's like literally 1 queen and 1 ling, and you're like, I can die for those drones. Don't do it. It's not going to be worth losing the Hellions, even if you kill 20 drones, because you're probably going to mess up your macro behind it, and they're going to build 20 lings, and they're not going to have any Hellions anymore, and they're going to be like, well, what do I do with these lings? They're going to attack you. It turns ugly. And you don't want to have the choice to have to make more Hellions. If you have to make more Hellions because you know you're going to die to a ling swell, you're going to mess up your build. It's not the choice you really want to make. This build is all about the drop into a very strong push with strong economy behind it. It's not about the Hellions. So just keep them outside of creep. Easy way to keep them alive. If you suspect any early game attack, use the factory with the tech lab to build tanks. Already went over this, but you have that tech lab super early, really. You could have it even earlier, I suppose. I think he was a little late to swapping it off, but the tank will help you, but it's still going to be a struggle if you scout, especially late. If your Hellions die, delay taking your third to be safe. Again, you could maybe produce more Hellions. It's going to mess up your barracks timings, but it's a possible option if your Hellions die. Losing a 20 lings, because they just have 20 lings, is just the worst feeling in the world. Or you can just turtle on 2 bases, get your supply depot wall off ready, and wait till you have 16 Marines with 2 MEDIVACS, and that's about the point you can feel confident again being out in the map with a group of units. Place your third in hard to scout location and take second gas to the natural to confuse slow Overlord scouts. So if they get Overlord speed, you know, what are you really going to do? You're going to do nothing. You're going to be scouted, and that sucks. But if they don't go for Overlord speed, there is a possible way to trick them. It's really tricky, though. I mean, a third CC is kind of like blatant in the fact that you don't have to build a lot of supply depots, and Terrans always build supply depots at the front, so no supply depots at the front. I wonder what you're doing. It's the opposite of when you're doing a Hellbat attack, where you usually build more than 6 Hellions, and so you actually have a third supply depot as opposed to a third CC. I'm probably over-explaining and getting overly detailed, but the point is, you can try and get them guessing. You don't want them to immediately be like, oh, they're TC, because then, if they immediately figure it out, they might actually be able to change their build and actually attack you. Where if they figure it out after a minute, after 2 minutes, like, it doesn't matter. You've already got everything you wanted from it, and they're going to have a terrible all-in. So, why not try, I suppose? Do exactly what Innovation did. Keep a Reaper in the middle lane, the middle attack path, and Hellions in any other attack path. So Reaper in the middle, Hellions beat-bop left to right, or middle to left, like whatever. The point is, there's usually 3 different attack paths on any map. Sometimes there's only 1, sometimes there's only 2, whatever. But if you can try and cover those attack paths, you're going to be more equipped to find the roach attack coming your way, right? And that's really what your Hellions are trying to do. Seeing an attack coming is the first step to defending. But again, you probably still have some struggles with this particular build order. That just about does it. I hope I explained this build order well enough, and I hope that does help you all improve. Who doesn't want a macro like Innovation? Right? I do, but many of us can't. So good luck with your endeavor to match this guy's macro. At the very least, I hope it teaches you something, anything, and you have another little build in your arsenal against Zerg. Good luck, have fun on the ladder, guys. Make sure to check out all the links shown here, as well as follow me on my Twitch, twitch.tv/ZombieGrub. Hope to see you in the future on this YouTube channel. Bye-bye.